Okay, here's the setup. We were at a softball game over the weekend, and we ran into a past client who we had listed the house for, done a great job, used listing concierge, and they were blown away by it. They had a mutual friend at the park as well, and that friend is thinking about selling their home. Now, in the conversation with them, they said, I know you've interviewed other people, you're ready to get started with that other broker, but you haven't signed anything, so you really need to talk to my agent. So they introduced the two of us. And in that conversation, I've asked simply for this. Hey, give me 15 minutes on Tuesday evening, and if what I say in the first 15 minutes doesn't make great business sense, I'll leave. But I think it's important enough for me to share this with you. So now we've come to their house. I'm sitting down at the dining room table with them, and I'm gonna share this 15-minute presentation with them. So let's roll into that, and you can take some notes and understand what's going on. So Moss, thanks so much for having me out. I know that when we were at the baseball game over the weekend, I told you if you just give me 15 minutes, and if what I say in the first 15 minutes doesn't make great business sense to you, then I would get up and leave. So fair enough, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Sounds good.
Okay. Now, what we've been doing has had a lot of success for our clients across the country. As a matter of fact, we've been the #1 brokerage for the past 22 years. Now, most of my clients don't care a ton about the fact that we've been the #1 broker for 22 years, but what they do care about is how we've gotten there and why so many people have trusted us. Now, that all starts with our incredible marketing plan that I'd like to lay out for you tonight. So these are all of the different things that we really do and invest in to make sure your house gets marketed properly. So I'm gonna run through every single one of these aspects tonight. The first thing that we do is really invest in high quality magazine grade photography. So I'm gonna hire a photographer. They're gonna come out and they're gonna take a ton of photos of your house, making sure we feature all of the great aspects of this property because it is a beautiful home. And we wanna make sure it shows online the same great way that it shows in person. So we're gonna take that photography and we're gonna use it in a bunch of different ways. The first way we're gonna use it is by creating an actual individualized website for your house. Now, yeah, it's gonna feed out and we're gonna talk more about that to all the other ones, but this is an actual website just for your home that's gonna be used in several different ways. The first way is which we're gonna be able to share that out on social media. We're gonna make sure this gets the exposure that it needs to have. Now, on top of that, I'm gonna take that professional photography and I'm gonna actually hire a team to put together a video on your house, a national sourced video that's gonna be featured on our At Home in Pittsburgh YouTube channel. It's a national channel. I don't know if you realize this, but YouTube is actually the #3 trafficked website on the planet. So we wanna make sure while people are out there looking at stuff for houses, that in Pittsburgh, your house is featured at our At Home in Pittsburgh channel, so long as you're okay with me producing a video in your house once we list it. The other thing that we're gonna do is do brochures. And now, not just brochures, not just a paper handout and those kind of things. We're talking about really high quality. Again, I talk about this magazine grade quality because that makes a big difference for people understanding what's going on with your house. So this is the type of brochure that we're gonna be putting together for your home, really featuring every aspect of it. And what's really powerful with these is that the people get to take them. So they're gonna be on your counter when showings happen. And when a buyer is considering your home, they can take this back. And so when they're sitting with their agent, sitting looking at this, trying to decide what house they're going to buy, they're gonna be able to remember all of these great aspects of your house, seeing the features, understanding what it looks like, remembering it, seeing the description. So we're gonna produce and print and bring these brochures to your home as well. Now on top of that, obviously online stuff is very important. So we're gonna take our online databases and we're gonna put an e-blast out there for a just listed to let the world know, hey, this house at 123 Banana Street has just been listed. Please make sure you check it out because it's a great property that you should be considering. I talked a little bit about brochures. In the past, you know, I don't know if you remember, but we used to have those boxes that we stuck in the ground near the road, right? The little brochure boxes. And inevitably they would leak, and so water would get in them and the paper would get all soggy, or the neighborhood kids would throw them all over the neighborhood and put their gum in there, or spiders would camp out. So what we've done is gone a step further to say we're not gonna really use those boxes anymore. You don't really see them much anymore. So we've created what we're calling the CB Mobile Property Brochure. Now what this incredible system does is it actually allows any buyer that's going by the house that sees the rider on there that has a specific number for our office to be able to text and get information immediately about the house. So let's say they're walking the dogs or driving back because they're interested, and they stop and they see this. Tell you what, you have a cell phone on you, pull that out for me, And what I want you to do is open your text message app. And I'll show you exactly how this works right now. So in the section where you would be normally typing your friend's name, I want you to type the number 35620. Then in the message block where you would say, hey, what's going on? You're gonna type demo 107207. No spaces, doesn't matter if it's capital or lowercase, and then hit send. And you should actually see 2 text messages come back to you immediately. The first text message is some information about the house. How many bedrooms and bathrooms, what's the price of it, who's the listing agent, which would be me in that case, my contact information. And then in the second block, which is what's even more important, is a link to that single property website that we created featuring your house. They can see all those great pictures that we put online. They can see links to any video stuff that we may have. All of the information is going to be there, but more importantly, because this is really important, in today's day and age, buyers want to get that information that they want. They want it instantly. So the moment that they text that number to that sign, I'm actually going to get a text message back to my phone with their phone number. So I can reach out to them and say, hey, do you have any further questions about 123 Banana Street? And more importantly, when can I show you the home? That's been really, really important for people to get their houses sold. Now, we used to do postcards, which were nice. You know, these are nice postcards, still really high quality and those kind of things, but most postcards do get thrown away. So we've actually upgraded the announcement of letting the world know your house is on the market by telling people around there, because a lot of times what we find is that neighbors like to find their own new neighbors. So when we list your house, we're gonna send these envelopes out. Now, it's gonna have an actual stamp on it, and it's gonna have scripted name here and a return address for us. Now, what happens if you get an envelope like that? It looks kind of like a, I don't know, wedding invitation or maybe a birthday card from grandma, right? I know you always open grandma's birthday cards, and almost always you're gonna open the wedding invitation, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Because when they open it, we win. We win by making sure everybody knows how incredible your house is, because it's not just a postcard anymore, it's actually a full trifold brochure saying, hey world, here's a beautifully updated brand new home on the market, ready to go. Here's all the information about the house. Here's what's happening all around this house to make sure everybody on the planet knows how special your house is and why we're marketing it to the entire area, to make sure that we know that we haven't left any stone unturned to make sure your house gets the exposure it needs to get listed. The reason we're able to get so much exposure is we actually take a proprietary software that we have that's called CBX, and it tells us where the buyers are coming from. It tells us what the buyers look like. It tells us what the average age of the buyer is, what the average household income is. All of those different aspects we take and we couple that with a whole bunch of Google Analytics. Now, when we're doing Google Analytics with that, we use that in a very specific way, which is an entire campaign that we're going to put on social media and web advertising. Now, I'm guessing you're probably on social media. Everybody pretty much nowadays is. We're gonna run campaigns on Facebook and Instagram, but more importantly also on websites that are targeted to people not only around this house, but people who have been visiting real estate related websites. So this campaign is gonna run for several days after we list your house to make sure, again, we're exposing it to the maximum number of people, because what we believe is the maximum number of eyes on a house equals the maximum number of feet walking through your door, which is how you get the top dollar in the shortest amount of time for your house. Now, we work with a ton of great professionals in the area. I have a whole list of realtors from our area, and as soon as your house goes live in the multi-list, that week we're gonna notify every single realtor in the West Bend multi-list. There's over 7,000 of them, and I'm gonna make sure they know that your house is on the market, sending them a link to that specialized website so that they know, hey, if you have buyers that are interested in a house in this neighborhood, size, location, whatever it may be, please make sure you're showing your buyers that house. And I talked a little bit earlier about making sure that we have that online presence. You know, for us, we've doubled down our investment in this and made sure that we've really put a maximum effort forward, and we're on over 700 websites. And yeah, we're on all the major websites that you've probably been on, Zillow and Realtor and Trulia before. Most people have. So what I've done is I make sure that I have a full detailed profile of myself on there, and I'm actually listed as the listing agent on all those sites, so that I make sure I can answer all the questions to the buyers if they have questions about your home when they land on all those sites. Now, a lot of my sellers do have a high interest in wanting communication to be a key factor in hiring me, and that's something that I commit to. So I just made you a whole bunch of promises about what we're going to do. Now, more importantly, what I'm gonna do for you is when it's all done, when all of those brochures are done and printed, when the website is created, when everything has been specialized just for your house, I'm gonna send you a report that says, here's all the things that have been done. And more importantly, I'm gonna send you this report that has links in it, so you can actually click on those websites and see those things that have been done for your house, so you can see for yourself exactly what's being done, and even share it with people that you know to say, hey everybody, our house is for sale, make sure you take a look or tell the people that are there. So I told you at the beginning why we were number one. It's because we sell more houses than anybody else in the country. Now my question for you is, I have a whole bunch of more data here with me about how we position a house on the market and what we believe your house is actually worth. So the only question I have for you is, my 15 minutes are up. Would you like me to stay and go through that? Or would you like me to leave?
Like you to stay and go through that.
Thanks so much.